What's going on, everybody? Time for another YouTube recap. So as we like to do, we start off on the X here. Let's see what the posts are like. We were waiting for the orange zone run up, right? So yesterday we had mentioned orange fill here on the Qs running to 482. If you watched the last YouTube video, we also said 482, 43, and running just straight up as long as it maintained above that 10 SMA daily, right? So this was our target, about 482. We had a little bit of a chop day. We actually called this in our premium chat that we're going to have a burn day, and we didn't do a whole lot. We had the VIX, notably some gaps that we need to keep in mind for the next downside. We needed a back test of NQ 6665 minute, and we did get that later on in the same day. And then we had a couple different little reposts of that one. We had a couple different intraday scalps. We had a beautiful fib here, knocked out almost 40 points there pretty much on the NQ trade. So we'll go over these high-low fib ranges as well. So let's get into the predictions and how we noted we were going to go to 482, 483, and continuing, right? So let's break it up and NQ start. So on NQ, we have those high-low fib range here, and we had a little bit of data here this morning that forced us up. So when we came into today this morning, and I told my team, I said 20,000 breaks over, we are going to wreak havoc to the upside. Short's going to get decimated. They're out of here, right? And that 20,000 was right here and right at the open. It decimated it all. So we were ready for that one at least. We did a counter trend short at 423. Let me show you the fib. This is our data candle right here. Okay, so 5-minute high-low data candle here at 7:30 a.m. Central, and this is the one that also took off with no golden pocket pullback, right? So I really wanted to see a golden pocket pullback to long first, but it didn't happen. We just used this as an over-under. It was 19,996 on Qs. It's the same thing. We'll go over in pre-market in a sec to look at that. So once the data candle box was created here on the Fibonacci, we never came back down to the golden pocket, right, to tag before we did the big run-up. So I wanted initially that, and that was best case scenario for a dip buy, right? But best case scenario for retail traders, not always, right? It's not going to hand us the easy plays of the market. So NQ ripped and ran away for a beautiful force up morning, even on bad data. And of course, data doesn't really matter; it just creates the volatility because that stuff digests immensely. So again, let's take a quick peek at this. We're going to go over the 5-minute and 2-minute. Here's that 7:30 a.m. central candle on the Qs. We do the high-low on this data. We bring it up, and this is where our short was today. So we missed the boat on the rip because there was no golden pocket pullback. So I said if there was no golden pocket pullback in the fib box, nothing comes here for support to purchase it. We're just going to rip rally out, and I'll probably just play counter trend at extension. Well, luckily we did that because 1618 blew out, 2618 blew out, pre-market high blew out. There is literally nothing that held this thing down, and we ripped up and we almost hit 423.60. So I actually got short right here on this huge extension up right from the data candle. So again, data box fibbed up to the 1618, 2618, 423.60, right? And then late day short I called as well and said this is going to come back down. Watch the fibs walk back itself. So you can see that real tag of the 423.60 here, and the shy. We shorted this one for a beautiful short down, and then we noticed that we didn't get confirmations. We said, well, break out of a fresh high into the 423.60 to come down to confirmation to back test things like the 100 EMA and so on and so forth. The minute chart looks a little cleaner with moving averages here this morning that we were watching, but we needed some back test of the 100 EMA. For me is green, so we did open up, and if you just zoom in real close, we shied that 100 EMA on the 1 minute. We actually didn't get a tag there, so likelihood of pulling back to confirm a tag there, same with the 200, very high. So after that shot back up and we shorted the 423.60 shy, came down and bloop right to the 100 EMA confirmation, and right back up to a fresh high. Actually got the tag of 482.83, right? So I got the secondary short on this one on mobile. That's the post we made on Twitter, a little 40 pointer, and that was back. And we'll do the NQ high lows now and talk about this little golden pocket, okay? So let's delete that data, and that data push gave us a very big high-low range here on the NQ, so I pointed that sucker to the downside, said, well, we got a pretty good opportunity here to get that downside metric and after that high push, okay? So this was that 423.60 on the Qs, bloop, 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 fresh low. And this was the shy, obviously. It's going to be a little bit different here on the NQ, but it came back down and back tested those moving averages like we wanted to see. 100 EMA here, again, slice, and 200. Well, as a fib box lover and master myself here, the fib box would go to the 1618 and 2618, so on and so forth, if it wanted to, and we watch for confirmations within such. This one made it to the 1618 because this is a rather large box, so the likelihood of the extension price without catalyst coming super far down to a 2618 or a farther extension becomes limited. It's a lot less, right? Because the Fibonacci range starts so wide, like so. So keep that in mind. The bigger the fib box is, the less percent outside travel it is. Doesn't mean it's not going to hit its target of the 1618 like we got a perfect double bottom on right here, but notably they do. So let's take a look at our oscillation indicators and intraday about how we played and would have seen this guy. I'll show you my play, that 40.1 we posted on X, and that was this guy here. So we got a lower low on the MAC and a lower low on the RSI, but we were coming into the 1618 support in the fibs. Generally, that's a pretty good setup, and we did get one pop off there, and then we got a double bottom, and then you've seen it really start to tightly consolidate. You got all these higher lows and higher highs leading to the 50 on the RSI. But more importantly, let's take a peek at the 5 minute, because this is the tall tail sign usually. So the 1 minute wasn't too bad, but we do love the confirmation of the 5. So you can see how clean it is here on the 5 minutes. We came down to that sub 20K level one more time, 1618. Right? See the higher low, higher high start, crossed and start till back here. So perfectly fine. We did get a secondary push off support. So the 5 minute was a really good turnaround. Now, as far as my short goes, I grabbed a 40 pointer off the second golden pocket tag here on the fibs. And that's this guy right here. So I watched the retrace and I was like, well, I'm not going to, watch this thing, kind of turn back around. He's going to come down to 20K and push, right? And this was the other high that we went off of here. And this was the entry short that we got for that 40 pointer. So it slammed down into 20K, did the consolidation, looped right back up, and then down, right? And this first one, we'll show you this. I'll do the fib right after. This first tag of that golden pocket, the top of the 3820, that was the highest point short that we got 40 points to the downside. Watch the consolidation at exactly 20K, ripped back around, and it should rally through because, again, we're going 483 and potential highs, and we'll go through the prediction here in a minute. A secondary fib I wouldn't have minded to use right here, even in the short term. So I like to give you guys lots of demos on interesting ways to use Fibonacci. The first tag of a moving average, because these Fibonaccis do love to talk to each other, and certain points of interest are speaking points within these candle charts. I know it sounds a little interesting, but I promise you it's that. So right here, here's another upside trend where I wouldn't have minded taking a reversal play, where I just took the consolidation here, this 1 5 minute lone candle, the breakout candle. This is touching the 100 EMA. It's touching a long-term fib, and it's touching 20,000 on the NQ here as a psychological level. So not only do we have 100 EMA, we have a really good zone push here off the golden pocket and a 20K recovery. So this little one right here would have noted pretty good, because you did hold the golden pocket, broke over the 100, right to the 1618, back down to the 100, right to the 1618, and then dove back down. They like the band right there, similar to channels. These price levels are similar to channels, right? So that is another one that ended up working really good in between the 100 and the 1618 if you didn't like the other ones. And a lot of these Fibonacci points, if you draw them correctly, where the price action's hitting a moving average, a 200 SMA like we had here with a 100 with the 20K, the more interesting tags you get, the better off that Fibonacci is going to play out. And these Fibonacci's, it's if they're going to play out, or it's when, not if. So it's when they're going to play out, not if. So these usually, you could pick any old fib, and they will play out if you're drawing them accordingly to interesting candles, right? It's not if, it's when they work out. So prediction time. Why do we assume we're still going higher and calling higher? It all has to do with a little bit of my friend Spy here. So Spy had a pretty good interaction day too with, I said, some back tests of that 5 minute 666. We did get that on the Qs, but this is another one that we needed to see. We shied the 666 right here on Spy. That's another moving average back test I really enjoy getting. So when we do have a run out of the gate like this, shied the 100 EMA, assuming we're going to slam back down into the 100, slam down into the 200. That's the peach line. Did another rip rally up, and then grabbed our 666, and then right back up and screaming. Now, why are we still going higher? Well, let's go to the daily chart and some anchor view apps, right? So as far as I'm concerned, up here at the top, we have one, I would say concerning, but we have a couple different or weekly here, reasons to watch this level, right? So we're going to use this all-time high body because it is an all-time high, right? And I just want to make the body because I want to do confirmation in the last week here of the all-time high candle and how strong these fibs are. Okay, so here's our fib box. Okay, so that's the body of the all-time high candle. comes down, 1618, a little bit of a pop back to the 100. We know how the fibs work, right back through the 1618, 2618, 2618, 2618, could not break through, all the way back to the 100 fib. Now anything over 547, which right now we're looking at 546.99, will result in coming back to the golden pocket of 548 and change right here. And why is that? Because this all-time high candle daily does not have any data to the right side of it. So we are 10 SMA looping and potentially pushing back in. So again, if you look at this body, we don't have any data in the fib box to the right of it. So if we stay above or get inside the 547 here and hold, we will go to the golden pocket and potentially higher. We'll see what it brings. It is Friday, so maybe not this week. If we bring up some anchors, you know how we love our anchors here. These are some longer term ones here. We'll go to SPY quick, and then you can see where this top down anchor is coming in and where Q's resistance is. Since we're on Q's, we'll start here, but this was another piece to my pie short here just to show you guys. We had a recovery of this anchor push, and then I noticed that we were coming into the candle high here of anchor down, right? And this is our first tag, and you know I am with first tags, and also a golden Fibonacci range of its prior all-time high fib box. So notice that did push up into the 50, that's the golden pocket, and a top-down anchor, right? So that's another reason why we shorted those tops on the NQ today for Q's long-term anchors on the daily. But SPY also has these, and this is why I'm still kind of leaning to the upside. If you notice right here, the all-time high candle on SPY, and then we have the engulfing, right, candle that was a prior. So this huge range candle, now look at the couple pieces of the puzzle here, body, right? This is still going to be dangerous because we don't have any data at the bottom. Something you're going to want to remember at a little bit over 542 for now. But as we come up, we already have data on the top side of this fib box. This is all done, right? So this magnet persisted only off the anchored VWAP all-time high. So this all-time high candle, as you see right here, put an anchor on it, and this is where you're going to get that resistance or over under. So a couple things happen where we're going to run into a first tag. We're either going to get a whole lot of nothing through the night, and then we're going to see some awkward bangs here, 547, right? And then down, or it's going to gap up, and then we're going to have to, again, draw a Fibonacci box, or not draw, but this is the all-time high for SPY. We will be dealing with the golden pocket up here where there is no data. So that is your over-unders. That is what you got to watch. Enjoy the daily chart there. And these fibs up here to 548.21 are what you're going to want to see. So that is the prediction. And let's see what our over-under brings, which is 547 on SPY. Likely above that is the long. So tune in for the next. We'll see how it goes.